Can't even describe it. When I meet the kids who are playing the roles, I feel like they are literally like my thoughts and dreams sprung to life.
And for me, it's really just all about getting to learn from all the people around me. So getting to learn so much from working with these kids and seeing how easily they access these alternate realities, right? That's what play is, and that's what imagination is, and it's fun to remember that and to be able to watch it so clearly.
I just wanted to always remind them, just be a kid. That's what this is about. This isn't about being a special anything. It's about being a normal, ordinary, amazing kid.
You know, I'd always wanted to be a writer, and I always, throughout my life, I've kept journals and had outlines for stories, you know, so it's always been there, lurking. But about 8 years ago now, I was with my 2 kids in front of an ice cream store, and we had a very close encounter with a child who had a very severe facial difference. And that just got me thinking about what it must be like to, you know, to have to face a world every day that doesn't know how to face you back.
Actually, I've got a question for Augie. What's the deal with your face?
Dude.
I mean, were you in a car crash or something?
Julian!
What? Tushman said we could ask questions if we wanted to.
Not rude questions. Besides, he was born like that, Mr. Tushman said.
And so I started writing the book that very night.
When I read the book, I cried, I think, I don't know, probably a dozen times. And the thing that struck me the most was how memorable each and every character was. You not only knew who they were, but what they needed in life, what they weren't getting, and I thought it was a beautiful blueprint for empathy.
It's a call to kindness. You know, it's a call to kindness. It's a reminder to people, to kids, to teachers, to parents, that the best thing we can aspire to be is kind.
I was very moved by it. I was moved by it because I think in the world we're living in today, there are some deeply important issues that we're all facing every day, which has to do with a racism and a prejudice and a xenophobia about anything different, anything that's not like us. People are unreasonably afraid.
That is really what we do as artists. We try to create more like empathy in the world. Who is it that I aspire to be? That is the question that we should be asking ourselves all the time. What kind of person am I? And so that's one incredible thing. But I think also it's a story about inclusion. It's a story about the need to make space for every kind of person in all of our spaces. And that is something that we need so badly right now.
All of these things are essential to discuss so that people treat people with kindness.
Mr. Tushman? I'm really sorry.
I know you are, Julian. And welcome them into their lives, their homes, their churches, their mosques, their synagogues, their neighborhoods, and not be afraid. So this story is exactly that story, only it's a little boy. And it's a lesson about how to look at someone's heart rather than the package that we're all dressed up in.
I have something, and it is my binder. And it has a lot of information about those kids. I asked them to send me letters, and it has all these photos of the retreat and all the letters in here, and it has a bunch of information about kids with facial differences. And, you know, I read this every day before I do like a really serious scene, a really hard scene, to help me prepare for my scenes. Like say it's a scene where like someone's bullying me or I have to cry. So that's usually what I use this for, and it helps a lot.
You're changing the world for the better with this movie. You're not just making a movie.
Keep up a good work.
You're really making parents like me very proud to have children like Nathaniel, and you're making their lives easier. Like, that's how cool this is, what you're doing. And I can't think of a young man with as much respect and dignity and humility as what I've seen in you. There isn't a better person on the planet to be playing this part. If it couldn't be him, we wanted it to be you, and we're really honored and humbled to meet you.
He's, you know, he's an anomaly. He's young, he's 9 years old, but as gifted as any actor I've ever seen. in nuanced performance, in things left unsaid. Just incredible amount of emotion that he can give with a look.
I never got to see you anymore. I missed your face. I know you don't always like it, but I love it. It's my son's face.
When I was reading the script, I was wondering how are they gonna make him look, and will the actor be able to sort of communicate the emotions underneath this makeup to make it sort of believable that he has facial differences.
I was never going to do it if it was going to become a CGI animation, because it wouldn't feel like a real kid. It has to be a real kid. It's a cornerstone to it.
The fact that Jacob was 9 and him being able to shoot so many hours a day was a problem, because makeups normally of this type take close to 3 hours at least. And that couldn't happen because then you don't have time to shoot, really. So I knew from the beginning that this had to be designed and come together in such a way that it could be applied with maybe in 1.5 hours.
And he constructed this makeup and has gotten the time down to basically putting out an 1.5 hours, which is astonishing in and of itself. But just a beautiful application that really transforms this young boy into Augie.
He has a complete silicone neck and chin and cheeks, and then a complete face and nose, fake ears, underskull, wig. Then he has contact lenses and teeth. I don't think a lot of people realize what he's completely covered. In the end, really, his arms are his own. That's it.
Every morning, I get into the makeup chair and Robert Pandini combs my hair back so they can put the prosthetic on. And then after he does that, I have to sit in the chair for 1.5 hours. So every morning we put on a movie, and I would usually watch a movie while they put it on. First, they put on the helmet, and then they start to glue on the neck, the chin, the cheek pieces. And then after that, they glue on the headpiece. And then Robert Pandini comes again and puts on the wig.
We would start painting and finishing the makeup, and we'd put the teeth in, and then the lenses were last. We wouldn't pull the eyes down until we were actually on set to save that extra half an hour before he would actually film.
And he had this system whereby he would attach these things here, and with a click in the back of the head, it would do this to his eyes.
He has it underneath the wig. It had a mechanical device to pull his eyes down, so they're droopy. And we could lock it and unlock it, because I knew it would be very uncomfortable throughout filming if he constantly had that glued down.
That was practical.
I couldn't wait to get to spend the whole summer in this. You know why? Because sometimes it got itchy, but other times, if you really didn't think about it that much, it was like there was a nice cozy warm cocoon around your head. My name is August Pullman. Next week, I start 5th grade. And since I've never been to real school before, I'm pretty much totally petrified.
He's ready. He's gonna be the only kid that looks like him.
It's okay, I wanna go.
You do?
You must be Augie. I'm Mr. Tushman. You can laugh about that. I've heard them all. Tushy, Mr. Tuchus.
Look at his face. I've never seen anything that ugly in my life.
If I looked like him, I'd swear I'd put a hood over my face.
You are not ugly, Augie.
You just have to say that because you're my mom.
Because I'm your mom, it counts the most, because I know you the most.
Who is it that I aspire to be? That is the question that we should be asking ourselves all the time.
Hey. Mom, is it okay if Jack comes over?
You're the toughest kid in that school. Show them.
Looking sharp.
Thanks, Dad.
You're talking about me.
You can't blend in when you were born to stand out.
You ever thought about having plastic surgery?
Dude, this is after plastic surgery. It takes a lot of work to look this good.
Hey, so did you like that video? Do you think the movie is worthy of an Academy Award? Well, did you know that only 3 movies have swept all 5 major Academy Awards? winning for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director and Best Screenplay Adaptation. The first was Frank Capra's It Happened One Night from 1934, starring Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert. The second movie is Milos Forman's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest from 1975, starring Jack Nicholson and Louise Fletcher. And the third movie is Jonathan Demme's Silence of the Lambs from 1991, starring Sir Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster. Do you think these movies deserved all 5 awards? Let me know below. And remember, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. See ya!